Good morning on this beautiful Sunday. Today we're going to discuss the top altcoins that I am watching, or at least looking after, or the categories I'm looking at for the markets in itself, as the markets are still doing well. But before that, I would like to ask you to follow me on Instagram. I'm getting close to 10k followers there. Would be nice if you followed me there and also subscribe to this channel. Then I've been making a video with the top projects for 2021. I guess it was about 3 weeks ago, and it was the period where Polkadot was still valued at $5. Since then, we've enjoyed a slight bullish cycle of altcoins. We've enjoyed some nice runs, and those nice runs are most likely going to have a corrective month in February, after which March and the summer are going to be relatively insane. I think we're not going to continue that much from here at all, and we've just witnessed the first runs in general. So those chances are coming there, and then you have to look at which projects do I want to have in my basket in order to be ready for that new season to occur. As what I've been saying on this YouTube channel is to wait for opportunities to come by, as they will always come by, and if you miss those entries or opportunities, new ones will come. You should never chase trades in general. If you want to see what I'm constantly holding or doing with my trading portfolio and investing portfolio, don't forget to check the website that I have, as I'm completely sharing everything there, including way more content as well. In the description you can find the website link. So I'm not going to share or sell you any small caps because I've got an early entry into it. I'm just going to share my honest view on the markets and what I'm expecting to do well from here onwards. And that's what I'm going to do inside this video. So I think we should be looking at categories rather than looking at projects in itself. So for instance, what I'm trying to say here is that if you want to look at projects that are working fine on a certain platform, the platform itself should work fine. So the majority of your portfolio, or most of your portfolio, should consist of platforms. If the platforms are not going to work well, there's absolutely no point in having a second layer solution for that platform in your portfolio. So the key rule for your entire portfolio is to consist it of mostly platforms. Also because of risk. The least risk is by holding those platforms, as second layer solutions are just a multiplier for your portfolio or for the asset itself. It's the same as like comparing, if you want to have gold in your commodity portfolio, but you think, okay, I want to have more risk, so I buy a stock that is mining gold or doing something with gold, as frequently those stocks are a heavy multiplier to the market itself. So when gold goes up times 2, those companies usually go up like 5x or 4x. That's the same concept with having projects that are built on a platform, as the platform will run the least, and the projects that are built on that platform will just be a multiplier of price, and they will just do a bit more movements in general. So the majority of your portfolio should consist of platforms, and that is where I'm heavily interested in. I'm heavily invested in as well. Of course, Ethereum is a big portion of my portfolio. Other one is up here on the screen, which is Polkadot. I think Polkadot is just starting up its bull cycle, and every opportunity over 30% correction is just a massive opportunity to get in. And I've been covering Polkadot a lot, even on national radio, as I suspect this one to do really well. Maybe they are competitors with Ethereum, but I would definitely argue that there is a likelihood of having multiple platforms in the world. For instance, if you watch social media platforms or communication platforms on your mobile phone, in Europe you use WhatsApp, in China they use WeChat, in Southern America they use, I don't know what the name is, but a different platform. So there's always room for multiple platforms to work with each other, and that's where interoperability also kicks in. So focusing yourself or thinking as a maximalist that one platform will succeed in general, I think that is just not what you should achieve, as there is always room for multiple platforms. Even within the mobile phone industry, we have multiple companies doing their work, multiple brands doing their stuff. Of course, the one will be the biggest, take the largest market share, and there's also smaller ones. But Polkadot is one of those. I do not believe that they're going to beat Ethereum. I do believe that they will work together. And Polkadot is just starting up its bull cycle, and I'm heavily bullish on this one. And I've been covering it a lot, in which I've been saying that inside a bull run, there's not many opportunities to get in. First of all, you have to be patient in general. We have discussed this retest here at $7, as we do have the OB as a very tricky or very handsome indicator that there is a support, and we got those entries. But since then, based on the daily time frame, you don't see many entries at all. We do see these retests at $15. That was one of the levels I've discussed. Another one is this $13 level, which is lower time frames. And then we've got this area around $10.50, which I'm not sure whether we get that in general. But therefore, if you want to make the most of a bull cycle, most of your trading portfolio should be stuck into the position itself. And you should only use a portion of your trades to take the day trades with. Your investment portfolio, for instance, my investment portfolio, I'm not doing anything with at all. So the trading portfolio, just take a tiny portion to trade with. I'm doing that as well. Close dot a little too early, to be honest. But I don't care. It's about making profits. But if you want to get an entry on Polkadot, I think those levels are pretty much the areas that you should be looking at. And then based on this Fibonacci extension tool, and then I definitely want to argue to take the entire one. The next impulse wave is most likely going to bring us towards 25, 29, and even 45 is likely to happen for Polkadot, which is putting it on a 2x, putting the price of Polkadot in Bitcoin. Oh, we actually broke through the high here. We actually can see the strength coming from the Bitcoin pair going into the first bull cycle on this one. What are the levels to watch on the Bitcoin pair? This previous high here should hold. Given the construction, I think we're going to lose it. Then we're looking at this range around 45,000 sats and this here. But this Bitcoin chart is showing you that there is not many opportunities to get into it, so you should allocate wisely. So I gave you the entries on Polkadot. Other platforms I'm also definitely bullish on. Cardano, Zilliqa, Icon, they probably all do pretty much well, but I still try to stick to focus on the large ones, as these are definitely, also Elrond by the way, these are definitely the ones that I want to include in my portfolio. Cosmos as a solution. Then there's different next categories that I'm watching. Those are second layer solutions, oracles, and DeFi. And when we get to second layer solutions, those are providing the scalability solutions that we have. Ethereum has a scalability issue, and maybe Ether 2.0 is going to fix that, but still we need those scalability solutions. So then you're going to look at those projects, and then we have some projects that I'm bullish on, which are, for instance, our dearest friend Sealer, which is heavily undervalued at this point and just starting and waking up to its new cycle. Got lost below the support here, trying to reclaim it. Maybe another retest is going to occur in February, after which we start and kick off the new cycle. Sealer USDT, waking up here as well. Tested this 0.4 cents level. Now accelerating upwards, but most likely we're getting a new test at the half a cent level, after which we're going to see a new impulse wave. This new impulse wave is probably being larger than the previous one, as then we get a higher low, higher high construction, higher high, higher low, higher high, most likely in any of these two ranges, which is already granting a pretty big move on Sealer for the coming year. Also, next project that is a second layer solution is Scale. I'm also bullish on that one. Then DeFi, the tricky one. I've got some projects for DeFi as well that I'm watching. If you want to know more about that, check out the website, for instance. But I think DeFi is starting up its first real bull cycle, and that's going to be adaptive towards the coming decade as well. So that is if you want to invest and you want to allocate some portion of your portfolio towards DeFi, I would definitely argue to do it, but it needs more fundamental research than when you're going towards platforms, for instance, as that is pretty much straightforward. Final portion, we do have the oracles. As we have seen, Chainlink breaking out yesterday and making a new all-time high. But there's also oracles that are still very undervalued compared to the value of Chainlink. So Chainlink itself has a very big market share of the oracle niche, and all the oracles are just starting up their first cycle. One of them is API 3, just got listed. Other one that is still waking up is Dia. As we can see here, I've been posting this on Twitter. We see a beautiful retest of the gray area, run up, most likely getting a retest around 170, maybe again 150 if the market corrects. And then we're getting into the first market cycle for Dia, through which Dia is valued at 40-50 million, while Chainlink is billions. So there's a lot of market share to gain for other oracles, and I think those will be doing really well in the coming cycle. So those categories are platforms, second layer solutions, oracles, and DeFi. That is what I'm watching heavily. I also do have Swipe still and other projects, but I didn't want to include it in this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you back tomorrow with a new market update and a live stream.